A group of robbers, composed of experienced criminals, received a tempting tip. In an isolated mountain region, there was a house where the resident was extremely wealthy. Convinced they could pull off the biggest heist of their lives, they prepared their best weapons and, in the dead of night, began their journey through dark, dense forest trails. The forest seemed to breathe ominously, with branches swaying at the slightest breeze, creating an atmosphere heavy with mystery. Despite the exhaustion and discomfort of the trek, their ambition and the promise of riches kept them focused on their goal. After about an hour of walking, the tension in the air became almost tangible. The group heard a sharp noise coming from a bush ahead. They exchanged glances, weapons in hand, and then saw something they could never have expected. A massive creature, covered in dark fur, with glowing eyes and sharp teeth, emerged from the shadows, growling menacingly. Without a second thought, the robbers opened fire on the beast, unloading their weapons in a hail of bullets. When silence returned to the forest, they realized they had killed what could only be described as a werewolf. The reality hit them like a punch. That creature, which had once seemed like a myth, now lay dead just a few meters away. The immediate decision was to flee, abandon the mission, and leave that cursed forest. However, before they could escape, the silence was broken by howls echoing through the woods. These sounds were different, deeper, more terrifying, and worst of all, they were getting closer. One of the robbers, in a voice heavy with despair, muttered, "We've fallen into a trap." Before he could finish the sentence, several glowing eyes appeared among the trees, and dozens of werewolves charged at them. A frantic battle began. The men fired at the creatures, but for every beast they brought down, two more seemed to emerge from the shadows. Amid the chaos, the group scattered, each one trying to find a chance at survival. The forest, naturally labyrinthine, now felt alive, conspiring against them. No matter which way they turned, the werewolves were there, surrounding, hunting, growling with uncontrollable fury. Desperate screams shattered the night silence, followed by the echo of gunfire and the horrifying sound of bodies being torn apart by the creature's claws. It was a massacre. Fear and despair consumed each of the robbers as they realized their bullets were not enough to stop the horde of monsters. As the first rays of sunlight began to pierce through the treetops, something unexpected happened. The werewolves started to retreat, disappearing into the forest's darkness. Dawn brought a sense of both relief and terror to me, the only survivor. Surrounded by a scene of destruction, with weapons and bodies strewn around, I felt as though I had lived through a nightmare. I never found out who those creatures were or what drove them to such fury. All I know is that I was the only one to make it out of that forest alive, and I carry with me the scars of a night I will never forget. If you enjoyed this terrifying story, leave a like and subscribe to the Fear Zone channel. See you in the next scary story.